Okay, welcome to this week's A Week at the Allotment.
That is peeing it down.
Okay, no,
it down.
we're not going to say that. But,
Okay,
what I'm just going to hand over to my assistant to let you know why we're in the dark shed.
So we're inside the shed because look at it.
Look and listen. You can see it coming off the roof of our other shed over there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that those sunflowers over there can stand it.
Oh, you can't really see them that much here. Yeah, down a bit there.
Just wait. There.
No.
I think it's
just about there. That's it. Yeah. So we will get back to A Week at the Allotment, but we just need to wait for the shower to pass because we're just here in shorts. Well, I am anyway, and a shirt, and that's it. Okay, so I'm in the shed. It hasn't miraculously stopped raining. Just flip the camera around. I've left it a couple of days because it absolutely poured down. So here we go. This is the A Week at the Allotment that I was planning to do a couple of days ago. Okay, so yeah, it's all looking pretty good. Loads of life, lots of green manure and all that sort of stuff. So a lot of life. So let's have a look what we've been up to. So in the last, this is actually, I've not done a week for over a week. So this is 2 weeks at the allotment. So the first one is this this row here. This was where we took the early potatoes out of. Planted kale in that row. So doing some succession planting. So there's different types of kale. This is a selection that I had from Delftland, which deliver organic plants. So this year I've had a go at buying some transplants in, as well as doing my own seed. Next year I'm going to have a go at growing everything from seed. But anyway, so there's different types. So this is done really well. These ones here. There's some Nero di Toscana have died. And I don't think it's anything, well, it's nothing to do with the actual plant, but it's because I left the seedlings in their packaging for just too long and they weren't looking very good, so I wasn't very hopeful. But these ones have done pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with that. Got quite a few plants that are looking good there. What I did as I planted them in the holes, I sprinkled some of the biodynamic Mausdorf starter. So that's the dried compost preparation, but that helps to basically enliven the soil. It improves its structure, microbial life, texture, and also gives seedlings a good start. So that's why I plan to do that. Then let's go have a look at the Calabrese. So the Calabrese are doing amazingly well. They're absolutely shooting up. So I've got them covered with just a bit of fleece because the birds at the moment are coming in and pecking them, which is the problem I had with some others in the first batch. So I decided this second batch, I'm leaving it open at the sides. I want ladybirds to get in to help control any aphids and things like that. But I do need to keep the birds off, so I am covering it slightly. I've got it pulled back just up here so I can show you what's going on. But these were seedlings just a few weeks ago, and they are absolutely going crazy. So that's all good. That's a really good sign. I've really enjoyed harvesting the Calabrese. The first batch I left far too long, so this time I'm going to be on the ball and harvesting before they start to flower. So yeah, pretty happy with Calabrese. Okay, so we're now a bit close to the ground. Bindweed, that just there. I've been doing lots and lots and lots and lots of weeding. Yeah, bindweed is a bit of a problem. So yeah, a bit of a problem. So yeah, I'm just getting bindweed up as I spot it and as I come and do anything. And then also the wildflower areas down here. There's not much grass there, but what I'm doing is just picking the grass out each time, just to make sure that as the seeds do germinate, they're still taking a while, but as they do germinate, that they're not getting covered up by anything. I've just spotted an animal, must have been having a dig, so let's just cover that back in. So yeah, I've been doing the weeding on this bed, which is basically generally grass, and then also this bed at the north end, which the weeding here is generally bindweed. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just keeping it free of weeds and letting the wildflower seeds germinate. Next one is a bit of a failure, unfortunately. So here we've got the Mangetout. Now, the failure is all on my part. So I just haven't been giving it enough attention, and it was still a bit yellow, so I decided to leave it a bit longer to turn green. Then I remembered that it's actually a species that is yellow. So I just didn't harvest it in anywhere near enough time, so I am going to cut it down and learn from my failure and do it differently next year. But yeah,
that's plant some more next year.
Definitely, yeah, because Mangetout is super tasty.
Yeah, I like it.
And then the other thing we've been up to is composting. Okay, so so next one is composting. So on the left is the one I built in November, with no skill or planning at all. I just chucked all the weeds on.
Turn into compost.
Well, yeah, it's sort of where Arthur is now. It was about the height of his head over winter, and then it's about half of his height now. So that's breaking down really nicely. On the right here, I'm doing it in different layers. What I've also got on here that came as packaging is a layer of wool. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But just putting different layers down. I'm putting the Mausdorf starter, sprinkling that on each time as well. Well, that helps to encourage microbes and yeah, adds in things like calcium through crushed eggshells, things like that. It's made from cowpap. Yeah, so we put different. I mean, we generally don't put food waste on there, but the wormery needs a bit of time to catch up. So so we generally just put in plant matter on here, and plant matter on here, and then also straw and waste from the guinea pigs. So we've got a bit of our own livestock. That is a muffin, but generally we don't put food on there. So that's that. So that's that one. And then the next one is the lettuce. Okay, so here we've got the row of lettuce, which is doing really, really well. Now, what I did in the week is you can see some spacing now between the lettuce. Before, well, they were just growing right up against each other and just too many for the space. I should have thinned them out a lot earlier, but I didn't. So I've done it now, basically. And we've been harvesting just every couple of times we've been coming up. And it's a sort of a type that's on a stalk. So to store it, I had been finding that keeping lettuce leaves in a plastic bag in the fridge with the sort of plastic bag tied up nice and tightly seemed to do quite well. But what I'm trying this time is, because we're sort of cutting the stalk off, and then I'm trying just putting that in a glass with a bit of filtered water, just a bit like keeping flowers, to see how that keeps. Yeah, and that seems to be doing. That seems to be doing quite well. I think overall with the green manure, I've hardly watered. Now, we did obviously have a lot of rain just recently, but before that it's been pretty dry. I've really barely watered at all. I've really found that the cover crop is keeping the heat off the soil, keeping the soil cooler, potentially helping the sort of fungi and things underground to keep the soil moist. I've been doing a bit of watering in of the Calabrese and the kale when it was brand new, but apart from that, I've really not done a lot. And plants that normally need a lot of water, like these tomatoes, which again I've left them to go a bit haywire and crazy, seem to be doing all right. So we've got some nice, quite a lot of nice
if you
big.
Look here, there's tons and tons of
there
tomatoes.
we go, all the way through there. Yeah, so it's looking really good. Next time I would actually tend to the tomatoes, but I've just basically left them to grow however nature intends. So that's pretty good. And then I've been doing a bit down the end of the allotment.
Thistle garden.
There we go. So you can sort of see a bit of a runway down the middle now.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a thistle garden.
That's a bit of a thistle garden, yeah. So that runway didn't exist before. So in the middle of that runway is the leeks. So all I did was cut back the green manure, which was always the plan, the green manure, to sow it everywhere and then just cut spaces so that the vegetables I'm growing can get some light and air. So that's good. And then the leeks are now ready to transplant. Now I'm not going to transplant them because I don't have anywhere else to go, but I'm going to basically take them out of where they are and then replant them at 15 centimeters underground. So then that helps to blanch the stem. So you get more of the stem. Well, it's blanching is where you stop the sunlight from getting at it.
Yeah, so you get more of it.
More edible stuff, yeah. And then I've done a bit of the same, cutting back the green manure over here with the Brussels sprouts and cabbage. Okay, here we go. So we got, there we go. You just see the Brussels sprout there. They're sort of staggered down here. That one's not doing as well. This one's doing pretty well. Again, it's just there. So I've just the other day cut back the green manure. So the Brussels sprouts have got some air. And actually I might need to do it again over here because I'm trying to see where the cabbage is. Now the cabbage is somewhere in here, and I had cut back the green manure, but yeah, that looks like that's a job that needs to be done within the net. A new job that needs to be done. Oh no, here we go. There we go. They're in there. So that's the cabbage. Oh, we've got the book in the way. There you go. And just in there as well. So yeah, I might need to cut a bit more of the green manure back there after the rainfall. So that's all good. And then what I forgot to mention with the tomatoes just around the other side of the sweet corn. So I am every 10 to 14 days, I'm putting on the stinging nettle liquid manure over the tomatoes to give them some nice natural fertilizer. So stinging nettle is an amazing plant. So it's super rich in life-giving nutrients like iron, magnesium, calcium, and potassium, and it helps to stimulate root growth. But also, which is important at the moment with climate change, helps to prevent stress in extreme hot or extreme cold weather. And then the thing I'd noticed that was happening a bit was it would also help to stop green leaves turning yellow. So that's, I'm really not noticed many of those now, but I'm doing that fertilizer, natural fertilizer, every 10 to 14 days. And the other thing is it will also get sap moving in plants, so that's all good. No nasty chemicals, all nice and biodynamic and organic. So exactly, yeah. So that's it for now. Yeah, that's 2 weeks worth of work. And then I've got a few jobs to get on with, which I'll get into the next video. So the last bit I wanted to show, not sure if you can hear, but I'm in here, I'm staring at loads and loads and loads of bees. That's exactly one of the things I wanted to achieve with the allotment, to give back more than I take. But ultimately it's still can be selfish. We can still say that the insects are doing a lot of the work for us. I think it's something like 2/3 of the food that we eat needs to be pollinated. And there's already been a huge decline in bee numbers. But bees aren't the only pollinator. Butterflies, wasps, and flies. Yeah, we might all say we don't like flies, but they are pollinators as well. Without pollinators, just think what life would be like without 2/3 of our food, without potatoes, tomatoes, and specifically honey. Yeah, definitely. So anyway, I thought it was a nice way to end the video with a shot of some very happy and ultimately busy wildlife.